Legendary hip-hop producer Jermaine Dupri has recently been the talk of the town on social media for his comments about his iconic group, Kriss Kross. Now, he was on an interview with the Earn Your Leisure podcast, and they started asking him about royalties and things of that nature. So let's watch this video, and then I got a question.
I wrote everything on the album and produced everything on the album. So therefore, you know, that's 100%. I like, therefore I get 100% of every piece of the pie that's coming when it's publishing, right? So that's what I'm saying. So soon as Kriss Kross sold 2 million, it was $1 million at my door. The comments in this about this is crazy. I seen people saying I took advantage of the Krisses. I seen people saying I finessed them. I seen people calling me a predator. Man, I seen people say you should blame the parents for letting me do what I did to the Krisses. And the shit just keeps going on and on and on, right?
So they were really on his head in the comments. And you could see he was getting a little emotional when, you know, about some of that stuff that people have been saying. So we were all outside and we know what it was like when their story and how everything started. But the question I would pose would be, what does the comment section tell us about the world we live in today in comparison to over 26 years ago when Kriss Kross first started?
That tells me.
Well, first of all, JD is in the right.
100%.
So let's get that out of the way.
Oh yeah, I'm with him on it.
Yeah,
I'm with him.
He is the writer of that. There again, there's two sides. There's the writer side, and then there's the recording side. Kriss Kross definitely probably got paid for the master recording piece. JD wrote everything. That's what
he's entitled to.
That's what he's entitled to. But anyways, continue.
Go ahead, Jay.
I just want to make sure that was clear.
No, you good.
No, it just says that a lot of people do not like Jermaine Dupri on a personal level. You know, because when he explains it, hey, I wrote all the songs, and I think we all knew that. At least I did.
I knew that too.
When Kriss Kross is out,
especially the first one,
and then he produces everything. So yes, he's going to get a lion's share of the money. Like, if not, I mean, they might get, you know, mechanicals for performance, and you know that's why. Honestly, this for all artists out there, that's why you got to get a show together and get out here on the road. You know, because if you're expecting money to come back to you from, you know, just record sales, that's honestly not how it works. And let you know, until you go really, really into the red, or unless you had, into the black, or if you're somebody that's able to, you know, negotiate like Michael Jackson at one point did, or even his sister Janet Jackson when she moved from, I can't remember where the first couple albums were, but then went over to Virgin Records, you know. So there was always a situation to where, like, unless you, like, the people who are, you know, what the unsung, like, and there's like, and then we looked at our money and didn't realize we didn't have any money. It's like, well, either you were stolen from through your initial deal, or you didn't get out on the road and make it happen, or they were stealing from you all, you know, in a 360 way before 360 happened. But, you know, people just by and large are showing their ignorance as far as how the music industry moves, and they're also just showing their I don't know what he may have done to engender a certain level of hatred, and people not effing with him. But there's a lot of people out there, like, whether it be, you know, I don't know, people, you know, there are people who have other producers at the top of their producer Mount Rushmore, or just the fact that, you know, he had and fumbled Janet Jackson is enough for some people to hate and to come out and say, you know, stuff about his business when he's honestly he's done nothing wrong.
Yeah,
you know,
this is just the music business in a nutshell at the end of the day. I mean, I think more people are concerned about the optics and what it looks like versus just hating JD, because a lot of these people don't even know who JD is. I guarantee you that are talking about him. They're not familiar with him like that, especially younger cats. But the optics of it looks like, okay, you had this platinum group, Kriss Kross, who's touring, who's in Michael Jackson videos. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think they might even went on tour with Michael Jackson at one point in time. I don't know. But anyway, he pretty much broke it down to how the money was worked. And this even goes without being said that, like Lone said, if you're writing everything, you're going to be the owner of those said assets. Now, when Jump came out, the single, it was gold in a week.
Facts.
It was platinum within a month. JD hadn't seen no money off of them at all, but they were making money. Then he talked about how they had the a licensing deal and a merchandising deal. They had millions upon millions of dollars, those two individuals, before JD got that $1 million. And then he still wasn't getting the residuals from when they were on tour, or, you know what I'm saying? He wasn't doing any of that. So, of course, now he still owns it, and he got paid off of that and whatever albums he wrote for, not even just Kriss Kross. That's how it's supposed to go. If I'm writing and I'm producing, then I get those credits. You get the credits for when you go out on the road and you're performing, whatever else you're doing, whatever side missions you're doing, or if you decide I want to put my pen to work on this one, let me get a couple songs on this album, then you get paid for that. Now, unfortunately, a lot of people learn this before or after they've already signed these deals. But he also made a point too that he asked both the Krisses when he met them at the mall, just on a humble, just said they pretty much look like stars, asked them what they did. They said nothing. So he just took their image and made them rappers and created millionaires out of them on just a random day at the mall. So, I mean, you can't really be upset about that.
Kind of predating the way they were putting these boy bands together at the end of the millennium.
Yeah, absolutely. Facts. And it's like he also spoke on that there weren't a lot of people trying to be in rap groups in Atlanta at the time. So he kind of put that in motion as far as creating Kriss Kross and, you know, writing all their songs and kind of turning the tides in Atlanta, so to speak. So, I mean, I honestly feel like he's due what he's receiving. I already know he's still getting money to this day from the situation, which granted, that's what he's supposed to be doing. If I know one of the Chris's actually, Chris Kelly passed away some years ago, but if the other Chris is still alive, if he were out, you know what I'm saying, he can still use Kriss Kross in his likeness and get paid off of it if that's something he wants to do. Yeah. But that's kind of where the buck stops as far as that's concerned. I mean, that's just the music business.
What you think, Lone? I know you broke everything down at first.
Well, I think I want to be a little bit more clear too. So like the way that I like to kind of like break this down for artists is like you always get paid two ways if you're the writer. You get paid for your songwriting, your publishing, that's collected by those agencies. And then if you make your own songs out of that, like you record your own songs, then you get paid for that actual recording of it. Mm-hmm. JD wrote the songs, so he owns all of that. Mm-hmm. Whoever performs and records those songs, that's where that other percentage is split from. So what JD's referencing is the publishing, is the songwriting. Mm-hmm. Kriss Kross doesn't see none of that. Anytime something gets played on the radio, JD gets all that money because in the United States of America, they don't pay you unless you have
ownership and writing,
songwriting credit or songwriting publishing. So Kriss Kross should, in their deal, they should get paid when something is streamed. They should get some percentage of that. They should also, you know, when they go on tour, whatever deal they have with that, whatever merchandise they have with that, you know, those are technically mechanicals, I think, essentially the physical nature of it. So like all that is tied into that side of the deal. But when it comes down to simply the half that is recorded to what is written, JD's, it's all his. Yeah. And I think that's the part that sometimes get lost is the music industry is extremely complicated when it comes to all this stuff. And, you know, that's why I think he kind of looked a little bit bewildered when he was like he's like, I'm getting dragged into comments for some stuff that is like, you guys don't even understand what's going on. Yeah. You know, so that's, you know, so comment sections, I feel like everybody feels like they understand the music industry.
Or anything.
Yeah, but especially this, like it's very complicated. You know, this is not a situation where he's taking advantage of some, you know, these. Kriss Kross is not owed writing credits.
There you go.
It's just not what it is. Nothing. No, it's just what it is, you know. Now, a separate conversation could be had for the other portion of that, depending on what that master recording contract looked like, right? But when it comes to writing the music, no, that's just what it is.
So, mind you, he was 17 when he signed them.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And he had already had a group out before them.
Silk Times Leather.
Yeah. Yeah. He said he made $50,000 off of them.
And
he pretty much used that money to kind of spearhead getting Kriss Kross on. So he worked with somebody that helped him with the Silk Times Leather project, who created their Rough House. He created Rough House and signed Kriss Kross to that. So, yeah. 17 years old, man.
And he said he didn't get a dime off them getting signed.
No, he didn't get nothing.
He said they weren't signed. It wasn't even So Def yet. It ain't been made.
It was Rough House.
Right. But he was like, I ain't get nothing. He said they got signed, whatever they signed to.
And I'm watching the success, and I'm still sitting back here like, okay.
Yep.
I'm going to eat here eventually, but I'm not eating nothing right now. But once they seen how popular that song was,
yep.
When he said it made $2 million, they just sent him $1 million because they seen the power or the popularity of the song, and so he was able to pretty much come up off of that.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's a success story to me.
Yeah.
That doesn't sound like he did nobody wrong.
No.
He made 2 millionaires.
Listen,
out of kids in the mall.
If I was 14, 15 years old and I happened to be in a mall and some dude was like, hey, you and your homeboy, y'all look like rappers. I'm going to write for y'all. I'm going to put y'all out. I would have took that same deal. You know what I'm saying? At 14 years old,
too, yeah.
I don't even rap. I don't have anything that, you know what I'm saying, that I can say I have talent for as far as that's concerned.
So you're going to do all of this stuff for me and I'm going to learn in the process? Bet.
And made them millionaires.
Ain't no kid turning that down.
No.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But, at the same time, no kid, for a lot of people, no adult is turning that down.
Nah.
You're also talking about a situation where, hey, the music industry for artists, it's set up to make you famous and somebody else rich.